Welcome to Access a Trader, the #1 community for those who are committed to taking control of their trading in order to achieve success, profitability, and longevity. Thank you for joining us. Here's Dan Shapiro to help you find your edge, master your process, and own your future.
Hey guys, good evening everybody. Welcome to another edition of the AccessATrader.com Tuesday night update, right? I hope everybody is doing well. Hope everybody had a great 3-day weekend. If you could be so kind, folks, take a moment out, click a like on the video, share, subscribe. If you haven't done so already, come aboard. And hopefully, again, I can continue to give you guys some pretty good value on a day-to-day basis. If you look at the final tally, you're really not going to get a pretty good picture of today's session. Dow up 10 points, S&P up 15 points, NASDAQ up 14 points. It felt like on the surface, a very flat session. If you traded today, you kind of know that there was a little bit of concern underneath the hood. And that's something that we always want to be wary of. No major red flags, no technical damage. Matter of fact, if you look at the QQQs, they didn't even take out the previous day's low, which is absolutely very, very bullish. If you look at names that have been broken out, they consolidated, nothing to sneeze at, right? NVIDIA continues to do incredibly well. It reclaimed the 50-day moving average on Wednesday, and it's basically went from 135 all the way up to 143 today. Apple had basically a rest day, right? Basically a rest day. Now it's just building above the 50-day moving average. The longer it builds above the 50-day moving average, the higher probability that this reversal candle on January 31st will get tested today. So Apple, NVIDIA did very, very well today. If you look at Snow, they got an early upgrade. They really didn't price action appropriately after the upgrade, but you can clearly tell this is still the highest close in the whole formation. So really, really good move out of Snow. Even a Tesla, right? If you look at Tesla, you'll see pretty decent price action. And the most important part, when you are coming into or coming out of a bottoming out process, and we don't know if it is, right? This is just more of a general statement. But when you are trying to put in a bottom, and again, granted, we're still 50 points below the 50-day moving average, what you want to see over and over again is a series of higher lows. And you can see even from the February 11 lows, the last 5 days have all been higher lows. And that's very, very important. So here's a low, higher low, higher low, higher low. And even today, even though we couldn't reclaim back Friday's channel, it was still a higher low. As long as Tesla, and this is very, very important to understand, and this is why I'm always prepared on both sides of the market, as long as Tesla does not break the previous day's low, everything is fine, right? And we're still on tap to try to reclaim the February 10th channel and start making our way higher. But always remember, guys, there's two sides to the equation. Just because we're on a pretty good run right now with Tesla doesn't mean it can't lose one previous day's lows and gets pulled. Case in point, right? Meta has been on a 20-day winning streak, right? 20-day winning streak. And what I just basically said on Tesla applies for Meta, right? Meta today finally lost the previous day's low, and we had a nice pivot. Congratulations for you guys who caught the pivot. It went from 722 all the way down to 706, and like all good, strong stocks, it reclaimed back, right? It reclaimed back the 10-day moving average. So you always have to be very, very wary on both sides. As much as I really like structurally what Tesla is doing, I am still well aware we're 50 points below the 50-day. I am still aware we're still below the 10-day moving average. So I want to continue to give Tesla the benefit of the doubt, but every single day that I'm trading, especially a stock like Tesla, I'm very wary that, hey, this thing starts losing back the 5-day moving average. I have no problems splitting sides and going back to the sell side if we do indeed lose the 5-day. But again, I want to give Tesla at least the benefit of the doubt. Here's where things got interesting today. You guys remember Amazon, right? I was talking about on the weekend video. Last Friday, they defended the 50-day moving average. I wound up losing like 50 cents. I went back in, right? I went back in. It confirmed last week's lows. We got a great trade on this thing. We really did. We had a really, really good trade. It lost that 27 level, traded down to like 23 and change. Nice spike, right? Nice spike. I'm still holding a runner. Overnight. I really didn't love the fact that they spiked it back about $2.50, but I want to give it the benefit of the doubt. This is now the first close below the 50-day moving average. I want to see if they start building below in the next couple of days and keep on building and building, because again, if it could start losing today's channel, then I do think a 222 measure potential is on the table, but nothing else did give us a pretty good move. I'm just down to a tiny runner on Amazon. So that was a pretty good move today. Google, right? Google, if you guys remember on the weekend video, I turn around and say, well, if it could get back above the 65-day, well, maybe the stock rallies, right? Well, today was kind of the same scenario that we talked about on Tesla. Oh, it's still below the 50-day moving average. There's still two sides to this puzzle. It went down today, right? It got hit today. It held the earnings lows. That is going to be the line of the sand. You see that? It was the same low as if it was 4 days ago. So now we have a very, very definitive line in the sand on Google. So if there's any weakness in the stock in the next few days, that is going to be a very, very easy area to identify where the sellers potentially could come in. Robinhood, right? Robinhood so far is digesting its earnings. Today, it didn't quite get to the 5-day moving average. I'd like to see tomorrow if they kind of wash it out into the 5-day moving average, hold, and start moving back higher, because again, the earnings highs did not get tested. So I definitely want to keep an eye. On Robinhood for the next couple of days to kind of hold the 5-day moving average and start moving back to the upside. Microsoft is starting to look interesting. If you're a novice trader, you're not going to really identify why it's starting to get interesting. If you guys notice, even though the stock is not progressing to the upside, the last 5 sessions, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, have put in green candles, right? That is a higher close than the open. Now the question is, well, can Microsoft demonstrate that the sellers are tired? Because for me, the way I translate it is, if you're closing higher than the open 5 days in a row, eventually the sellers are going to have to get tired. And it's a very, very important part. So I kind of want to watch Microsoft tomorrow. If it can sneakily get back above the 10-day moving average, maybe this thing could finally wake up. Again, it's not imminent. There's nothing there to tell me 100% that's going to happen. It's not my prime watch for tomorrow, but at least now I am wary of it, right? I understand what's happening. I'm looking at it more of a constructive way, because again, it's not going down with the rest of the market. And if you look at one point today, we look like we're about to roll over very, very aggressively, and the bulls held. So the fact that it did now put in 5 days in a row of green candles at least has given me some data that I can at least watch and wait for that confirmation. Because again, if it could start reclaiming back the 10-day moving average, maybe we get a 1 or 2-day bounce. So I definitely want to keep an eye on Microsoft. Look at a name like Bros. Yeah, bro. So Bros, hey, by the way, I have no idea what Bros is, but Bros had a great quarter. And that's what it looked like, right? It had a great quarter. It rested for a couple of days. It got rejected today at earnings highs. I want to watch it tomorrow. Again, I've never traded the stock. It's probably doesn't look like something that I want to trade. Only traded 4 million shares. But for the rest of you guys are trading, the small, I say the smaller names, it's still an $85 stock. But if this thing could just get back above earnings highs, maybe this thing wakes up as well. So it's something to definitely keep an eye on today. So if you looked at today's session, the day started out really, really slow, right? Like really slow. Like we were sitting there like, wow, nothing's really confirming. This is good construction-wise. For the stocks that are resting, like an Apple, like an NVIDIA, even like a Tesla, but hey, we're not getting any action. So I was looking at Google, like we talked about on the upside on the weekend video, obviously never confirmed 187. I was looking at Robinhood, never confirmed. I was looking Tesla to the upside, never confirmed. Sounds like, oh, geez, what the hell's going on here? So then next thing you know, slowly but surely, things started getting better. We discussed DXCM. You guys remember that, guys? We discussed DXCM on the weekend video. 90 needs to build, right? DXCM put up a really nice move, really nice move here. So it took out this whole channel here at 90, traded up to all the way up to 93 and a quarter. The next one was definitely at least my play of the day. Again, I'm always going to be very aggressive when it comes to 50-day reclaims to the upside and 50-day technical damage to the downside. Amazon, at one point we're up about $4, a little less than $4 on the trade. Again, I'm still holding a runner. Let's see what happens. Again, I didn't really love the close, but this is now the first close below the 50-day moving average. So it's something that technically needs to reclaim by the bulls. If not, we could get one more pull. So tomorrow's session, it's a little bit kind of a wait and see. This is now the highest close in the whole formation on the QQQs. It was trading like 542 pre-market, right? All the way up to, almost like 541 pre-market. So you can see this really big aggressive pull at the open, and kind of a nice, really good job by the bulls to kind of get back up. But it's kind of a wait and see scenario. So what I would like to see is a lot of these stocks start playing catch up tomorrow. Maybe a Microsoft, maybe a Microsoft, maybe a name. Let me see what else I'm looking at for tomorrow. I've totally forgot my own watch list. Maybe a Microsoft for tomorrow. Oh, look at Dell. Look at Dell. Dell looks interesting, right? Dell has now got rejected at the top of the range now twice. Keep an eye on it. You're starting to get expanding volume just the way DXCM did. Keep an eye on this thing. If this thing could finally get above this supply, this thing could wake up here. Look at Lamb Research. I think only a handful of people in the webinar took it today. Great job. Put up nearly a $2 move. It's a very hard stock for me to trade, but this is now the highest close in the whole formation. They started pounding the 87 weeklies. They started pounding the 88 weeklies. So let's see if we can get one more move. Let's see if it confirms today's channel and starts moving all the way up to that 89.30 linear regression line as well. So we're kind of set up for tomorrow, right? We're kind of set up. We're obviously watching some longs, we're watching some shorts, we're watching some names that had great quarters, trying to reclaim and hold their 5-day rising short-term support. We're watching to see if Apple can consolidate a little bit more for the next move up. We're seeing if there's any type of weakness in NVIDIA. Again, NVIDIA is very strong. We want to see if there's any weakness in NVIDIA into rising support, maybe a back test back to maybe the 50-day moving average so we could get a long against it. Again, we'll see. There's a lot of scenarios that are playing out, but the most important part, folks, always be prepared on both sides. Anything can happen. Don't fall in love with the stock. Fall in love with the range, and everything else takes care of itself. Guys, God bless everybody. Have a great night, everybody. In God's help, I'll see you all tomorrow.